Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations, a podcast that teaches you how to create a clutter-free, functional, and simply happy life. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser who supports families with practical tips to simplify their lives and create a more organised home. I'm passionate about supporting neurodivergent families and individuals like myself. So do you keep saying to yourself, I want to declutter, I want to organise my pantry, the wardrobe, that spare room, I need to get that sorted, but you're just struggling to start? Maybe you're not quite ready to start. You may not have the time or energy to get started. Or maybe you also aren't sure what to do with the items that you no longer want. In today's solo episode, I'm going to share with you the stages of change so that you can recognize where you are and maybe even have a little bit of compassion and kindness towards yourself because you're maybe not quite ready. And the benefits of decluttering maybe are going to help you to get motivated to actually get started. Let's jump into this Simply Happy conversation. Welcome to Simply Happy Conversations, a podcast that teaches you how to create a clutter-free, functional, and simply happy life. I'm Narelle King, a professional organiser who supports families with practical steps to simplify their lives and create a more organised home. I'm passionate about supporting neurodivergent families and individuals like myself. Every fortnight, I also share guest conversations with experts passionate about the future of our home, health, and the planet, which will provide you with actionable takeaways to create a more organised and happy life. Thanks for joining me for today's solo episode to determine whether you're ready to declutter and organise your home. So the first stage of behaviour change is the pre-contemplation. So in this stage is when you are maybe not even seeing the clutter as a problem. You may not even be aware of the benefits that would come from you actually decluttering. You'll hear yourself use words like, oh, I won't have time for that, or I can't possibly declutter at the moment. I've got too many other things to do at the moment. Number 2 stage of behaviour change is the contemplation. And this is a stage where you might be thinking about decluttering, but may feel a little bit ambivalent or unsure of taking action. So this might be around, where are you going to donate your things? Where do I even start? Maybe even, what are all the steps I'm going to need? And so you might hear the language of, I might declutter this room next week, or I may in the future get around to organising our garage so that we can fit the extra car in there. And these words are going to help you identify, okay, I'm not quite there. I'm in the contemplation. I'm thinking about it at the moment. So some of the common challenges that will come up in the contemplation stage is procrastination. And so a way for us to move through the procrastination is by offering techniques like setting small, manageable goals, maybe writing down the tasks. This one I do all the time with clients. We'll break down exactly what they need to do and do within that room. And then it actually helps them to start to process it. And even if we're not doing it that day, their brain is thinking about it and getting the steps in order so they feel more confident. Another technique to help with procrastination is getting help from a friend or even a professional organizer like myself. Another challenge can be decision fatigue. When we're decluttering, there's lots and lots of decisions that need to be made in regards to items. It's whether we're going to keep it or let it go. And by simplifying the decision making into just binary decisions, yes, no, it makes it a little bit easier. It still doesn't mean that by the end of the process, you're not going to feel exhausted, but it's going to help the process by just thinking, let's make a yes and no decision. And then even when we've got our pile, we can make a decision, more decisions down the track. So an example of this was yesterday with a client. We were dividing up paperwork and there were things that she had that she wanted for her children which were learning. She also had things that were like resources that she wanted to use around their social, emotional well-being. And then there were resources for craft. And we actually put it into one box together because she already had so many decisions she was making with all of the other items. That was then the next process is then to get that box and actually divide it up into the 3 sections. But just to simplify the process, we just made binary decisions around yes, we're keeping it and no, we're not. Another challenge that you find in the contemplation is a lack of time, and helping with time management and actually breaking it down into small, maybe 15 minutes each day, or dedicating an hour on a weekend to decluttering is going to help to reduce that challenge. Confidence and motivation builds when we make little starts. So even doing, for example, a cutlery drawer, that could be the first process. And that's going to break down saying, well, it only actually took me 5 minutes to do this cutlery drawer, clean it out, sort it out. I probably do have maybe a little bit more time. The next challenge is overwhelm. And this is when there's just so much to do and they're not sure where to even start. So by sharing more manageable tasks and focusing on one room, or like I said just before, one category at a time. So therefore we could just be focusing on the kitchen and the cutlery drawer. This is going to help reduce the overwhelm. And our final one is fear of waste. And this one I see all the time. And people are really, really conscious of what they're doing with their items from their home. They don't want to be adding it to landfill. So they'd rather be keeping it in their house where they at least know where it is. But by suggesting ways to reduce waste and giving them ideas of places for us to donate that's going to help other people and creative ways to repurpose items is going to help reduce that fear of waste. So providing information about the benefits of decluttering and sharing success stories is really motivating and helps other people move forward in their actions. I also find that when people understand how many decisions go into organising a space, a room, even a cupboard, they're a lot more kinder to themselves as to why they haven't started, because it is a big process and it can be very overwhelming. Our third stage is our preparation stage, and this is when you're going to get ready to declutter. So you may be gathering your supplies, so it could be storage solutions. You might be making a plan. I had a client the other week who had a room and she wanted to do a complete switch of the room. But before we did it, we'd measured the furniture and she actually made out a template with her graph paper to make sure that the furniture is going to move and fit and which way she could actually do it. And this helped her by having this plan to actually move forward and for me to support her to change those rooms around. Maybe also having a professional organizer or a friend, a body double who could come over and is going to give you that accountability to get started. When you're in this preparation stage, you really want to set realistic goals, thinking about how much there is to organize, your energy and how much time you have, and just being really mindful of the decision fatigue that you're possibly going to feel after making decisions about the items, whether you're keeping or letting them go. The language that you're going to hear yourself say when you're in this preparation stage is, I will be organising my wardrobe on Saturday. I'm going to be organising the kids' toys with the kids' help over the school holidays. Number 4 stage is our action stage. So this is when you are actively decluttering, organising, setting up processes so that your home can stay clutter-free and functional for your needs as well as the whole family. So our 5th stage is our maintenance stage. And this is when the decluttering and organising of a space has been completed. It's important, though, for us to maintain the progress. By having a process to follow, it's going to help you to stay organised and prevent clutter from building up again. It's a continual process. I really enjoy working with clients around this maintenance stage because it's a chance for me to come back in. We look at the process, we look at what's working and what's maybe not working anymore. I find the maintenance stage changes quite quickly in families who have got children. As their children's ages progress, that's when there's little tweaks need to be made because of their age change, their interests, their size of their clothing, and the ability they have to do different things around the home. Number 6 stage, which is our final stage and is probably one of our most important, is our relapse. This is when we need to be mindful of setbacks that might happen, and we might then also see clutter building up in our homes again. We need to look at our decluttering journey. What is the reason why clutter is building up in our home again? Is there a reason why we're bringing things back into our home? And it's maybe looking at our buying habits. Is it something that we need, or is it something that we actually want? And how many of these items do we actually need in our home? And do we even have enough room to fit these items in our home? So we really need to look at why something has stopped working. A great example is with a client. She had her diary, and all of a sudden it was filling up with notes and bits of paper. It was after the Christmas period, and I was like, what's happened to your diary? How come it's so full at the moment? And she reflected that she'd moved all of her quick reference and her action folders into the study area because of the Christmas period, and she didn't want to look at those in her lounge. But this meant that she was keeping them in her diary instead of filing them away. So we looked at the process. We moved her magazine holders for her actions and quick reference, and we were able to then start filing again and get on top of it. This just highlights how important it is to stop and look at something when it's not working anymore, and asking yourself why. What has changed, and what do I need to do to get things back on track? So the best way to actually move through this behavior change is by looking at the benefits of actually decluttering and organizing your home. Knowing the benefits which are going to help you and motivate you are going to help you to move into that preparation stage and action stage. So I'm just going to highlight 6 benefits. There's so many more, but these 6 main benefits of you looking at organizing and decluttering your home. So number 1 is reducing stress. A clutter-free and organized environment can lead to a clearer mind and reduce stress levels. Like they've seen in tests that your cortisol levels increase when there's more clutter in the home. And clutter can be overwhelming and really contribute to feelings of anxiety. So I have a great example of how clutter affects decision making. I had a child and we'd organized their wardrobe and the labels, and then the mum called me back to have a look and reflect and work out why they were still really struggling to actually dress themselves. We'd set up a beautiful, system. It was very simple. It was clear. And when I asked the child, what were they finding really difficult? The answer was because of all the camping gear that was stored above their clothes. It made it really difficult for that child to make decisions about what to wear and even where to find those, because there was so much other clutter in their wardrobe, even though it wasn't related to them. Number 2 is our increased productivity. An organized space is going to allow you to find your things more easily, which is going to increase the productivity and efficiency of you doing your daily tasks, such as things like washing, maybe eating and cooking more nutritious meals. I've also found that clients that have an organized pantry are also more likely to make their own lunch and taking that to work, as well as breakfast, a nice healthy breakfast. Number 3 is having more time. We know when we're organized, we can save time by not having to search for misplaced items, like our keys or kids' school books or missing shoes and socks. Having an organized home is also going to reduce the time you spend cleaning and maintaining. Something I love setting up with families are lost property boxes. These are a box that's allocated to every person in the home. It's located in one area. So at the end of the day, you go around and pick up all the things that maybe are in your lounge room and place them in the lost property boxes. Then when your kids come looking for items, you can direct them straight to the lost property box. At the end of a week, I would then go and empty the lost property boxes. But by having that process at the end of the day, having to put everything away. So having this cleanup process is going to help give you back more time. Number 4 is the financial benefits. Decluttering can help you identify where items are. There's no need for you to rush out to buy pens or markers or things that you can't find. You know that you have in your home, but you have no idea where you have actually put them. The other financial benefit of organising your home and decluttering is that you can maybe sell your items that you no longer need anymore. Number 5 is enhanced creativity. I find I work with a lot of creative individuals and families, and when they have a tidy space, they're more creative. Some of the feedback I get from when we do a sewing room or a painting space or even somewhere where they make jewelry is how motivated they get to continue working on their projects. And number 6 is improved relationship. A clutter-free and organised home is going to lead to better relationships with family members or roommates as well. It's going to reduce the conflict over the messiness or the clutter or the space and having room to move around. When I've organised lounge areas and allocated an area for the toys, it means that family members can then have their space at night time to really enjoy and relax rather than be surrounded by clutter of toys. I hope by sharing these 6 different benefits of decluttering, reducing stress, increasing productivity, more time, financial benefits, enhanced creativity, and improved relationships, that one of those strikes a chord with you and helps to motivate you on your decluttering journey. I hope you're able to then recognize what stage of behavior change you're at so that you can be a little bit kinder and work out the practical steps and strategies you need to move forward in that process. I'd love for you to come and join the Simply Happy Facebook group to have accountability, motivation, inspiration to get started on your decluttering and Organise projects. I'd love for you to come and join me in the Simply Happy Organisation Facebook group to have accountability, motivation, and inspiration to get started on your decluttering and organising projects. Thanks for listening to Simply Happy Conversations. Thank you so much for joining me for today's Simply Happy Conversation. If you find yourself wasting precious time searching for misplaced items and wishing for a more organised life, then you need my 5-minute declutter ebook, the ultimate guide to quick and easy organising solutions for a clutter-free and happy home. Forget about spending months KonMariing your house. These fun solutions are designed to give you immediate results in under 5 minutes. Head over to Simply Happy in the resource section and download your free copy and start seeing results in minutes. I'd like to acknowledge the Wathaurong people of the Kulin Nation on which this podcast is recorded as the traditional custodians of the land. I pay my respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging.